What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. Ha! I'm back at it again, man. Listen, we got a lot to discuss. We're going to be talking about the Jets. We're going to be talking about all of the stuff that's been going on. Of course, the New York Jets in the season with a W over the Dolphins. But there's a lot of talk about the head coaching search and a lot of things going on. Call in 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I am taking all callers. Give me 1 second, folks. I'm going to connect the audio. Hold on 1 second. Okay, folks, listen. Blog Talk sucks, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We will go another route and another way, okay? And we are going to have a call-in show anyway, okay? Give me 1 second, folks. We're going to make sure everything's good, and we're going to get rolling, okay? We're going to take live calls. Don't trip and do not worry, okay? Do not worry at all, all right? Here's going to be the live number to the show here. Hold on. 1 second. And we're going to get it started. Blog Talk is trash. It's trash, but hold on. Hold on 1 second. We've pinned it into the chat. Again, I am taking live calls still, okay? Don't trip, okay? Do not trip. Just because Blog Talk sucks doesn't mean that the show has to stop, okay? Not at all, all right? So, again, here I am. We're talking about the New York Jets. We're discussing what's going on here with this football team and everything that is happening. And let me tell you something. There's a lot of things moving and shaking, so let me go ahead and get into it. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Okay? I love it. I absolutely love what you folks think I do here. Okay? Also, please go on over to iTunes. Your boy's on iTunes. Okay? I'm on iTunes. Going over to iTunes, all right, type in, okay, The Long Beach Joe Show, okay, on iTunes, okay. Go ahead, follow the show over there. Follow that podcast. Go ahead and leave me a 5-star rating, okay. Leave me a 5-star rating. Also, leave me some feedback as well. I want to thank everybody that does that, all of the overseas listeners, all the people that check me out from different places, different spaces. Listen, I appreciate everything that y'all do, okay? Thank you for putting your thoughts, okay, and how much you enjoy the show. Again, I'm always stunned at how many people listen to your boy, particularly from overseas. It always blows me away. It's just crazy to me, absolutely crazy when I see it. So please, please, please continue to support the podcast over there on iTunes. Again, The Long Beach Joe Show, and I really appreciate that, okay? Also, all right, go ahead on over to Twitter, all right? I know some people want to say, hey, Joe, it's called X, not Twitter anymore. Look, I don't care, okay? I'm always going to call it Twitter. It is what it is, okay? It absolutely is what it is. So listen, going over to Twitter, type in at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter, all right? Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. And let's go back and forth and have great discussions, okay? I call, okay, my talks and discussions with people spirited discussions. A lot of people want to yell. A lot of people want to make a lot of noise. I'm not here for all that, Okay, but I will go back and forth with you. Okay, and I will have that discussion. Okay, so please go on over to X at the Long Beach Joe. Follow me and let's go back and forth and have a good time. And I have that discussion. And as always, listen, I'm on YouTube, baby. I'm on YouTube. Okay, salutes. All right, we back. We doing our thing. Come on over to YouTube. Type in at Long Beach Joe Jets. Okay, at Long Beach Joe Jets. Okay, go ahead and do that. And go ahead and subscribe to your boy. Okay, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you will be in the know. Give the videos and stream a thumbs up and share them across your social media with your friends and your family. But listen, when you come here and you watch these shows, okay, live, I do my thing. There's some people you got to deal with. All right, there's some people you got to deal with. Okay, I'll call them the savages. Why? Because they're savage. My chat just gets after you. They don't care who you are, where you're from. They are going to let you know what time it is, okay? They're going to let you know what time it is, point blank, period. They're going to let you have it. No one is safe, not even me. If they don't like my take, if they don't like what I got to say, then guess what? They let your boy know, and they are not at all shy about letting you know what time it is, okay? Point blank, period, all right? So salutes to all the savages out there in the chat. I see y'all in the building again. Blog Talk sucks. The number to call in is 885-885-0467. Okay, that's the number to call in because it's pinned at the top of the chat, and Blog Talk is trash. Okay, but we're gonna continue on with the show. Again, everybody, please call in. I am taking all callers. All right. Again, the number is pinned in the chat. Okay. So first off, we're going to start off with the Jets getting a W. All right. Jets get a W against the Dolphins to finish the season. An awful long season full of just absolute, just mess. Okay. Absolute mess. Salutes. Hold on. Let me get through this and we're going to get right to you. Okay, caller?
No problem.
Okay. Give me one second. So first off, we're going to start off with the Dolphins here. Dolphins moving and shaking, right? Here we come in, and of course the Dolphins didn't have to, but the Jets still took care of business. Jets beat the Dolphins 20-32. 20-32 took care of business. The offense started off, kind of struggling at first, right? Aaron Rodgers comes out, throws an interception early. A lot of issues, right? Didn't really get things rolling until like the second quarter when he found Conklin for his 500th touchdown. Okay, now keep in mind, Aaron Rodgers ended the day 23 of 36, 274 yards throwing the football, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Of course, the interception he threw early. 4 touchdowns. That's a season high for Aaron Rodgers. All right, so things is moving and shaking there. All right, now keep in mind the Jets defense, they look pretty good on the day, right? We saw Ashton Davis get an interception, and then once the Jets got the ball back, they immediately turned it over on downs, trying to go for it on fourth, couldn't handle business. But then the Jets defense came back out. Riddick and Will McDonald get a sack and cause a forced fumble there. Now, listen, there's been a lot of talk about the Jets defense, and there's been, some scrambling moments here. The Jets defense hasn't looked how it looked in the past, how we all hoped that it would coming into the season. But I tell you what, man. This guy, Will McDonald, I remember a lot of people talking crazy, right? I was live. The show was live for the draft. I remember the night that young man was drafted. And I remember a lot of Jets fans being upset. And I remember after year one, when he was a rookie trying to find his way, getting things together, right? He showed promise, but there was a lot of Jets fans that called him a bust. There was a lot of people that did not want him in the building. And year 2 was the big year, and we need Hassan Riddick, and we need these guys to really pop things up. I tell you what, this young man, Will McDonald, has stepped up and shown out, okay? In his second year, the man finished the season with 10.5 sacks. 10.5 sacks, he did his thing, okay? He looked phenomenal this year, and he went to work and handled business. And we saw the work that he put in the offseason because he talked about it. He talked about how he got his body together, and he was feeling good and feeling stronger and was going to come into this season and really handle business, and he did just that. So I want to give a salute and respect to Will McDonald because he handled his candle. You know what I'm saying? There were some other guys in this game as well. They got sacks too. Kinlaw, Bruce Hector, they did their thing, 1 sack apiece. And then we saw Rodgers after – be able to lead a drive down the field after that turnover. And he hit Lazard for a 13-yard touchdown. Also got a 2-point conversion in there. That made the game 6-15 for the Jets. The Jets defense also got an interception before the half, right? So they went into it with some momentum. They came out in the third quarter. We saw Quinnen Williams and Tony Adams get a strip sack as well. That led to a Jets field goal. And things were tight, right? Things were moving and shaking. And keep in mind, also, DJ Reed chased down a Dolphins running back earlier in the game, right? He had a 61-yard gain. He chased him down, tackled him, brought him down. And that was a lot of effort on DJ Reed. I want to put some respect on his name as well. I know there's been a lot of Jets fans talking about him and where things could go. But, DJ Reed really showed a lot of effort on this ending game. And I really like some of the things that he did this season as well. I wouldn't mind if the Jets were able to work something out and be able to bring him back. But, Aaron Rodgers continued to deal, man. We saw Rodgers hit Devontae Adams for a touchdown, He finished the game with 6 catches, 88 yards. And to end the game, we saw Aaron Rodgers hit Breece Hall as well for a touchdown. So that was beautiful to see. Jets get a W as we continue to move forward. Rex Ryan, baby, he was in the building, all right? Got interviewed today. And Rex Ryan, let me tell you something. This man is extremely confident. He's never lacked confidence. That's one thing you can say when you talk about Rex. And Rex was talking about this, being the New York Jets' next head coach. Recently, he feels like he's got the job in the bag, and I want you folks to hear the audio from this. Give it a listen.
You think you're going to get this job, right? You think you're going to be the next head coach of the Jets?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely, I do. And the reason I think I'm going to get it is because I'm the best guy. And it ain't close. The thing that you have to do, you have to connect with your football team. You have to connect with your fan base. And the way they play, that's the most important thing. Not just the X's and O's and all that. Look, this Ben Johnson, I love him. I absolutely love him. But I'm a better candidate for this job than he would be.
You think you're going to get this job?
I'm telling you. Rex is uber confident, man. Rex is uber confident. He's never been a guy that is not going to speak his mind. And he had other things to say as well. When talking about becoming the New York Jets head coach, if that happens, he took a little jab at Aaron Rodgers. And he had some things to say about how he felt about Aaron Rodgers and some of the things that had happened in the offseason. He said, clearly, when you have a guy that doesn't show up for mandatory minicamp, and, by the way, he's your quarterback coming off of an injury, I think it's an absolutely ridiculous message you send to the team. He continued on as well about Aaron Rodgers and says, if he comes back, things would be different. If he's back, it ain't going to be the country club show up whenever the hell you want to show up. It ain't going to happen. I'll just leave it at that. Woo. Listen, man, if Rex Ryan gets the job, he's going to come in and lay down the law. And look, Aaron Rodgers did get fined for that. I think it was like $100,000. I don't think many Jets fans had an issue with Aaron Rodgers missing that mandatory minicamp due to the fact that he had been at everything, every voluntary, all the voluntary stuff, everything from day one since he had been traded. But, again, Rex Ryan has his right to take issue with those points. But I look at it like this, right? When you look at a lot of the other things that have gone on with the New York Jets, and the lack of discipline on this football team, right? You see it on the field. Look at the penalty issues that we've had this season. It's been insane. But that's been something that's been a staple for quite some time. And so I think if you get Rex in this building, right, if he does become the New York Jets head coach, because there's a host of other guys as well. Again, the New York Jets have interviewed Mike Vrabel. There's, Ron Rivera as well. And there's other guys as well that they've reached out to for requesting for interviews as well. But if Rex Ryan comes in here, he's going to be a guy that's going to lay down the law. He's not going to have that. Everyone knows the players love Rex Ryan. They love what he brings to the table, but he's going to hold you accountable. And if you're not getting it done, then guess what? He's going to find some way to get you up out of here and find somebody to get into the building that is getting it done. And we've seen that in the past. We've seen him, hold guys accountable and not allow the riffraff and the nonsense. So that's what Rex had to say. As you can see, he's extremely confident, baby. He's confident. Now, there's some other guys as well, again, I spoke about that the Jets have sent requests to. Now, the Jets have interviewed, again, Mike Vrabel, Ron Rivera. They've also, again, interviewed Rex Ryan. But the requests that have gone out, Arthur Smith is one guy they've requested, Bobby Slowick, Joe Brady as well, which was a big name as well. Matt Nagy, too. They've looked into him, bringing him into the building. They're also looking to send out invites as well, or send out requests, to Aaron Glenn. Vance Joseph is another guy they want to bring into the building. Brian Flores as well. That's a big name, too. I like Brian Flores now. I like Brian Flores. A lot of Jets fans are talking about him as well, bringing him to the building. Some QB coaches that they've reached out to as well, Brian Greasy, Josh McCown. They want to bring those guys in for interviews as well and see what they have. And a name that just got added, Darren Rizzi, okay, special teams coach that was the interim coach with the Saints. So this season, I think he was like 3-5. So there's a lot of names out there that the Jets are looking into, a lot of guys they're looking into bring into the building. And, I'm excited because this is the next move, all right? Who's going to be the next guy to lead this New York Jets football team? Who's going to be the next guy to handle business here and get the team headed in the right direction? And there's so many things moving and shaking with the New York Jets right now. So many ways that the Jets can go, and so much is depending on this offseason, right? Not just with coaches, with players as well going forward. But when you have that coach and that general manager, and we've looked at some general managers as well, Thomas Dimitroff has been in the building along with John Robinson, Louis Riddick as well, Jim Nagy as well. But the Jets have also sent requests to Mike Barinzi, who is working with the Chiefs. He's their assistant to GM, also Bill's assistant GM, Brian Gain as well. And the Jets are also going to be talking to Packers VP of Player Personnel, John Eric Sullivan. So all these guys that they're bringing in to try to find the right synergy, the right mesh to put together to make sure that this New York Jets football team is headed in the right direction going forward, okay? Because a winning culture, the structure for a winner is built from the top down. You got to make sure that you have everybody on one accord. All right. We've seen in the past what happens when the New York Jets, right, don't have everybody on one accord. Anybody remember Adam Gase and Mike McCagnon? That was one of the worst time in the history of the Jets franchise to be a Jets fan. It was awful. It was completely awful. And you saw we had two guys on two completely different accords, and we saw how that ended with Mike McCagnon getting fired after a draft and free agency. Now, yeah, we got Joe Douglas, and he was able to get some talent in here. But, man, that was a brutal time. A brutal, brutal time. And we saw the structure of the Jets was jacked up. That's why it took a minute to kind of get things together, all right? So here we are looking for the next guy as well. There's also been some firings around the NFL too. Gerard Mayo, he was fired after a season with the Patriots. Wow. Worst roster, rookie quarterback, and he's gone after one season. Doug Peterson as well fired there with the Jags, which is crazy. You know, what's going to happen with Trevor Lawrence going forward? Antonio Pierce was also fired by the Raiders today too, which was kind of a shocker to me. This is after one full season with the Raiders. So we'll see what happens going forward. There's a lot of openings, a couple more openings, out there. And here we have the New York Jets situation. All right. Now, again, there's some questions about some players going forward as well. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, what is the future with them? Devontae Adams says he has no idea at this point, what happens, what's going to go. He's going to sit back and evaluate about the future with the Jets. But he also said that Aaron Rodgers' situation will have an impact on what he does. And finally, listen, Sauce had some things to say as well when they asked him about his contract situation coming up with the Jets and how things were going to be impacted by that. And this is what he had to say.
You're obviously eligible for a new contract, your whole classes. Like, how do you view that situation as you head into? Is that something you're concerned about yet? Or?
Man, we got to see. I take it one day at a time. I'm gonna just let my agent. I'm gonna let him handle that. Obviously, I want to be a part of this for a long time. I want to be the reason. I want to be a part of the change, in this organization. Because if I was to go somewhere else and then it was to change, I'd be a hater. For real. I'd probably be the number one hater. So, man, that's just.
Wow. Sauce letting it be known. Listen, he wants to stay a Jet. He wants to be here. And like he said himself, if things turn around and he's not a part of it, he's going to be the hater. He's going to be one of the biggest haters for the New York Jets, okay? So that tells you that this is a guy that wants to be around and wants to handle business here with the Jets, and we'll see how things move and shake and how things wind up. So we're going to continue on with the show. Again, I apologize, everybody. Blog Talk is trash, okay? It sucks. The number to call into the show is pinned in the chat, 805-885-0467. Okay, I apologize to anyone who's trying to call in. Blog Talk is on the fritz yet again. But we're going to get to the lines again. 805-855-0467. We already got a caller on the line. Caller, give me your name, where you're from, and give me your thoughts about the Jets ending their season with a W. How are you feeling about it?
Joe, salute.
Salutes. Listen, it's Val. You know he's
Blog
in the building.
Talk.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. We got the circus in the building. Listen, Val, salutes. I want to thank you for calling in. Look, man, Jets in with a W, man. How are you feeling? You know, it's been an awful season, but they get a little bit of momentum going into the offseason with this victory. How do you feel about it?
Man, listen, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Blog Talk, you know what I'm saying? Always doing their thing, always taking their breaks, you know what I'm saying? I guess they took their week off, getting ready for playoffs, like how we're getting ready for playoffs, I guess, but it is what it is. I will say, man, I am, you know, I'm happy that we definitely are 1-0 in 2025, you know. We definitely beat a divisional rivalry. You know, we had the sad faces of the Dolphins. They looked completely defeated.
Mm-hmm.
They was playing a little bit in the first half, and then they noticed that they was out, and Tyreek Hill is ready to pack his bags. He's ready to leave as well, too. But I do like how our offense was actually getting it together. I did like how the only thing is I just hope we can get Garrett Wilson involved because I feel like he's been isolated, and I don't really like it too much. But I am happy that Devontae Adams is still that guy. Devontae Adams definitely shows that he's still, the 1-2 punch with Aaron Rodgers and Adam Gase. Whoa. Devontae Adams. Whoa.
Don't mention that guy. Don't bring that guy up.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Devontae Adams. Not putting that name on you at all. I'm just happy that Devontae Adams is definitely getting it together.
Yep.
You know, it just seems like as time went by, they started getting way more in sync, and they started becoming a little bit more dangerous. Like, even teams that I thought the Buffalo Bills game, you can't forget about that. That was actually terrible as well, too. But other than that, you know, I just feel like if Tom would have definitely went on and we had a real head coach and a real structured and a real culture that was going on, I feel like this team would have definitely been different. I feel like this the defense would have definitely never been the way how it was this year because I'm still shocked how this defense was. This was terrible, you know. But other than that, I just feel like, you know, I think we went out with a bang. We definitely went out with a bang. You know, we're picking at number 7th in the draft, and let's see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy that Sauce Gardner, I knew Sauce Gardner was going to be the person. I don't know if we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but Sauce Gardner, I knew was the person that was going to be here for a long time. He renovated his house. He definitely did a lot of structure to his house and stuff, so I knew he said in the offseason, and I know you said this as well too, Jamal Adams even said that he want to be a Jet for life, or Sauce Gardner echoed that, and he said he really want to be a Jet for life, and, you know, he's sticking to his guns, so hopefully, you know, we got 2 down. We got Jermaine Johnson, and we got Sauce Gardner. Like I said, that they're ready to go for the rebuild, and we're just waiting for 2 more, Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, but so far 2, you got 2 down, Joe.
Here's the thing, and I love that you started to talk a little bit about, you know, the offseason and Devontae Adams, which, again, we're going to be running shows and we'll be talking about that. Salutes to all the Savages in the chat. I see you in the building. Phillips, I see you in the building. Venom G's, I see you in the building. Listen, I'm looking at the situation, right? And I'm saying to myself, okay, after this game, we're seeing Aaron Rodgers kind of say, you know, we'll figure out what happens going forward. And a lot of it is being put on, you know, who's going to be the next guy, right? Who's going to be the head coach that's going to come in? What is the front office going to look like? And I think a lot of Jets fans, you know, don't understand that they're, like you were kind of bringing up, there's a lot on the line when we're talking about, you know, the next general manager and head coach coming in here, because there may be players that don't want to deal with what's coming up, right? There may be players that don't want to deal with whatever head coach is coming in or don't see a light at the end of the tunnel for the New York Jets. And you talked about one of them, Garrett Wilson, right? Let's say we get the wrong guy into the building, a guy that players don't believe in and don't think is going to be able to turn around. we could potentially lose not only Aaron Rodgers, right? We could lose Devontae Adams. We could also lose Garrett Wilson. Think about where that will put the New York Jets. Think about it.
That will hurt us, man. That will really hurt us.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, and that would be an extreme blow. And I'm looking at the situation. I'm thinking the Jets have to get this right. They have to get a guy into the building that's going to inspire these players, that's going to inspire change and change the culture and get some toughness into here. And I know that Rex Ryan is one of the guys that, was interviewed today as well, but there's a list of other guys they've sent out requests to as well. We've also interviewed, they also interviewed Mike Vrabel, Ron Rivera. What are your thoughts? Like, what is the guy that you believe is going to be able to come into the building and really change things around here and bring this team together?
My number one option is Brian Flores. Number 2, Alan Glenn. And number 3 is Rex Ryan. If we get Aaron Rodgers back, listen, that's my top 3. Ben Johnson's number 4. Verbal is number 5. Babel is number 5.
Okay.
But I will say, that's my top 3. If we get Aaron Rodgers back, I'm gonna have to put Rex Ryan at number 2. But my thing is, if we have to have that structure, because I really don't know how much can I put into like Rex Ryan being like the official rebuild. Mm-hmm. I'm not too sure about that. I'm not too comfortable with that. Mm-hmm. But I know Brian Flores definitely has an eye for talent. I mean, listen, he was going to be very dangerous if the Dolphins would have listened to him and not actually pay him to lose games and stuff like that, and to actually get Justin Herbert over there instead of Tua. If they listened to him, that team would have been taken off for sure. It would have been definitely a dynamic to be dealing with. And on top of that, he takes care of the penalty situations because he's he's a disciplined head coach. Mm-hmm. They rarely had any penalties, so that doesn't kill them at all. And that hurt us a lot this year. We actually lost a lot of games due to penalties. So I believe if we get him, that's why he's my number one option. If we get him, we're going to be very disciplined. We're going to have a culture here, and he's a non-nonsense type of head coach. Mm-hmm. If we get Rex Ryan here, we already know what we're getting with him. We're getting confidence. We're getting rejuvenation from his team. We don't even have to worry about Woody Johnson. Well, at the same time we do, but he knows how to deal with Woody Johnson. So he's going to go along with the program and stuff like that.
Yep.
And he knows how to contend him, and he's familiar with him and everything. But I do believe the defense, this man worked with less and made them look like Pro Pro Bowlers out there. So I do believe Rex Ryan is that guy. And just put it out there. Look what Aaron Glenn is doing with the Lions right now. Yep. Look at the masterclass that they just put against the Vikings and what's going on in that season. And it's not just him, it's Ben Johnson as well too. That's why he's on my top 5 right now. Mm-hmm. So between them, it's really something to look out for. But I really condone, Rex Ryan if everybody stays together for sure.
Okay.
Now, I got a quick question for you though, Joe.
Yeah,
do you believe the Garrett Wilson rumor about if Aaron Rodgers stays that he's going to request a trade?
Man, that's I don't know if I believe that. There's been a lot of rumors thrown around and a lot of reports that's been talking about the New York Jets, especially this season. Some of the information I could see and I could be like, okay, that could be true. But then there's other stuff where I'm like, okay, this is kind of either taken way out of context, blown out of proportion, or is just completely ridiculous. I don't think that if Aaron Rodgers comes back, Garrett Wilson is going to be like, hey, get me up out of here. I think that the issue is Garrett Wilson's usage within the offense, period. And that's something I think that, we've heard it. We've heard this. This isn't the first year where we've heard about Garrett Wilson wanting to be utilized differently within the offense, wanting to see the offense be something other than what it is, something other than just stagnant. He's talked about wanting motion within the offense. He's talked about doing different things that he's seeing from other teams around the league. He talked about this for pretty much his whole time here, especially if you go back to, I believe it was the last offseason where he stood up there and really vented and talked about how the Jets offense needed to be different. It needed to be different than what he saw. He also called it one of the worst years offensively for him, even though he had over 1,000 yards, and he had over 1,000 yards again this year. And I think that that's more of a struggle with him is, hey, we need some innovative offensive minds. And that doesn't mean that we have to get an offensive-minded head coach, okay? I wouldn't mind that. Again, everybody knows I love Cliff Kingsbury, have for a while, okay? But that doesn't mean you have to have an offensive-minded head coach to get that innovation into the building. You can have a defensive guy here that can get in a really solid OC that's going to be able to utilize Garrett Wilson and his abilities to max potential. And I think that that's what he's been frustrated with ever since he's gotten here, was just the lack of utilization. And not only him, we've also heard as well that Breece Hall feels the same way. We've heard that too. And I mean, hell, even us as fans, and I'm gonna give you the last word on this. Even us as fans have talked about this during the season, during the games, being like, hey, why are we going away from things that are working when we see Breece Hall coming out the backfield catching the ball? Why are we going away from that? Why aren't we using Garrett Wilson more? Why aren't there plays that are drawn up to get him the football early in games, just to get him going? Because every other team in the league, right, that is a sound offense does just that. Even if the guy is the guy on their football team, they're going to get them the ball. You watch the Chiefs, Travis Kelce, if he's playing, they're gonna find a way to get Travis Kelce the ball. Period. Yeah, it doesn't matter if your defense is double covering him. They're gonna find some way to make an adjustment just to get him started, get him going. Viking, Justin Jefferson, they gonna find a way to get him the ball. Period. All right. It may not be some deep shots, but they're gonna get him something early to get him rolling. And I feel like Garrett Wilson wants that same thing. He wants that same thing. So that's my thought. What are your thoughts on it, Val?
I absolutely agree with you. I feel like he needs to be the main focus on this offense, him and Breece Hall, because they're two dynamic players. And I just feel like Breece Hall, of course, he had a rough start, but he started really turning it up towards the middle to the end of the season. But Garrett Wilson, he's been on fire, even though he had the Steelers game. That was probably one of his worst games, but then he bounced back right after that because everybody was ready to trade him and say, oh, yeah, this is not the guy. He's not the guy and stuff. But then he proves you totally wrong when he basically had the catch of the year, arguably. So I just feel like this guy is somebody that, listen, look, it's just so messed up. I just feel so bad for Garrett Wilson because he can't have a consistent connection with the quarterback because they're changing quarterbacks it seems like every month or every year.
Yep.
Like, it's really bad. He's been through so many quarterbacks, so many offensive coordinators, so many coaches. And it's just like not so many coaches. He only been through two, but still, it's been a lot of, changes of voices, I would say. He needs to have that consistency, and he wants to find that. You know what I'm saying? But if we could just find that quarterback that's going to be our franchise and that we could stick to and have that one-on-one connection where, it's just like a Joe Burrow and Jamal Chase situation or, different situations that stick together. Like even you just said, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Just that same voice so they can have that chemistry. And instead of different people moving all the time, I just hope we could find that. And this is why I hope we can find the right GM and the right head coach so we could bring a culture here so we don't have to keep changing our quarterbacks and we could finally get it right because we're in a 14-year drought, Joe. And I just hope we could really end that and change it next year, hopefully next season. But I just really hope for the best for this team, man, because as content creators and as fans, we're going through a lot. We're going through so much, man.
Man, oh man, this was a very bad season. Like this season, and I think the reason why this season is, in my mind, will go down as one of the worst is because the expectations were so high, and it's because even Sauce Gardner said this. How is it, that we have an elevated roster at every level and still can't win games? He was confused about it, and he's on the field. He's a player.
I'm confused too.
just blown away.
It makes no sense.
Oh man, it's insane.
We had 7 primetime games, Joe. 7. 7, and we got flexed out of 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it makes no sense. Even the media was showing us love at first.
Yeah.
For 2 years.
Yep.
We never get that.
No.
So that's how you know the expectation was at an all-time high. It's arguably like one of the worst seasons that we had. I was just I can't believe it, man.
I mean,
5 wins.
Again,
that's ridiculous.
And even with this season, if I would have told you before the season that Aaron Rodgers would be just short of, or would even be in range to break the Jets' single season throwing yards record, franchise record, if I was to tell you that Aaron Rodgers at one point in the season is playing like has the numbers to be a top 10 quarterback and he's close to breaking your franchise record, I would have been like, oh yeah, the Jets are in the playoffs, easily Super Bowl. How does that like? And no, we're not even close to that. We're not even close. If I would have told people that before this is what we're gonna have. This is what's gonna happen. I would have thought, hey, the Jets are gonna go way further than what they are. But no, here we are sitting here out of the playoffs, 5-12, and trying to figure out what's gonna happen going forward. And there's so many questions with this team. Again, is Aaron Rodgers coming back? We don't know. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, is Devontae Adams coming back? We don't know. He's already admitted that Aaron Rodgers' position is definitely gonna, kind of sit with him. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, who knows if he does either. So then you're out of your quarterback and you're at this point number 1 wideout, and then the question starts to go, okay, well, if you look to the right and look at Garrett Wilson, what if he just says, oh, well, I'm done here. I'm not coming back for a rebuild either. This team could be drastically different this coming off season. And that's where I want to go with you, because you started to talk about the coaches and the GMs. What are 3 things in your mind, Val, that you can sell an incoming GM or an incoming head coach, right? The guy that you want, the coach that you covet. What are 3 things that you can sell them that would make the New York Jets job more attractive than the rest of the available spots that's around?
Listen, I could sell them on this. I could sell them on this team is very hungry for just to even get to become contenders. I would say that they're very hungry to become contenders. If you win here, you will be a legend. You know what I'm saying? You would definitely be a legend and legendary. And 3, we have a young core that is very hungry, that has a lot of potential. And yes, the contracts are coming up, but if you could bring a culture here and bring acknowledgement of how to turn this franchise into a winning franchise, I guarantee you that they will definitely turn. They will stay here for the long haul, and they will believe in what you're bringing into this team. And I feel like that will bring a new regime in here and even more talent. Even we're even getting free agents to come here as well too. So if you could definitely bring that and that winning culture, I feel like we could definitely turn this thing around. And I feel like that would definitely be a good selling point for the GM and for the head coach.
Is there a head coach?
Players as well too.
Is there a head coach that's on this list? Because there's been a lot of talk, again, and the Jets are constantly sending out requests for guys to come into the building. Again, Arthur Smith, Joe Brady, Matt Nagy. There's a lot of guys out there, potentially Aaron Glenn coming into the building as well, Vance Joseph, Brian Flores. We talk about a lot of these guys. Is there a coach that you don't want that is on this list that you see where you're like, whoa, I don't want to have nothing to do with that guy possibly being the New York Jets next head coach?
Oh, definitely Ron Rivera. Definitely him. I do not
Why does
want
everybody
no
dislike Ron Rivera so
Arthur
much?
Smith gives me kind of like Adam Gates type of vibes.
Oh.
Sorry, say that again.
No, every Jet fan I talk to, the first thing, Ron Rivera, don't you do it. But go ahead, give me your thoughts, man. Wow. Don't
do it. Please don't do it. And then you have Arthur Smith. I feel like he's a better OC. I just feel like he would potentially be a good head coach, but I just don't think for New York. He comes off like a little bit of like an Adam Gates, but I do believe like his offensive coordinator, if he was an offensive coordinator, he would be a lot more better. But just for a head coaching position, I just don't feel like he fits here. And I just feel like those two are definitely not it. John Gruden, he has a little NFL situation in the background. Even, Brian Flores, he has a little NFL situation in the background as well, too. But I just feel like John Gruden, he had the Raiders, and he just never had a winning season with them and stuff. So I just feel like his time kind of passed by, but, I might be wrong. He definitely got a Super Bowl in the early 2000s, but it's just I'm not too sure about that.
Okay.
But other than that, I feel like those are my top three.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Listen, Val, I want to thank you for calling again. I apologize, everybody. Blog Talk is trash. The number to call in is 805-885-0467. Listen, Val, next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right, man?
Absolutely, Joe. Shout out to all the Savages. Everybody hitting subscribe to Joe. And everything, well, I guess he can't say it today, but, everything he says at the end is defamation of character. Shout out to Blog Talk.
Goodbye, Val. Oh, my goodness. They take advantage, man. Blog Talk sucks. Blog Talk sucks. Give me 1 second, caller. Hold on. Blog Talk is trash. The one time, now they can say it. Oh, yeah, Joe, it's defamation. It's defamation, baby. You ain't got no proof tonight. You see, Blog Talk, what you've done? Do you see what you've done? You've lent credence to the nonsense. Again, 805-885-0467 is the number to the show. I apologize. Blog Talk is trash. Okay. That number is also pinned in the chat, okay? So when you call in, that's the number to call in. It's pinned in the chat. I apologize to anyone that I miss. When the line is busy, I will call you back, okay? Oh, this is crazy. Please give the stream a thumbs up. Subscribe as well if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Now, we're going to get to the lines. Listen, is this Max? Is this Max on the line here? Gotta make sure.
Yeah, this is Max on the line.
Max,
can you hear me?
Salutes. Always good to see you in the building. Max is in the building. Savage. It's always good to see you, man. Always good to speak with you. Listen, there's a lot of things going on with the New York Jets right now, Max. Rex Ryan into the building. He did his interview today. We know that he's extremely confident. All right. He's made it clear that he believes he will be the New York Jets' next head coach. What are your thoughts about that, Max?
I actually was not mind about this, and I was actually talking on the show about this same exact topic with another guy, Ryan, Jets Talk 24/7. I was on his YouTube channel. We were talking about this same exact situation with the coaching situation. Jets Talk made it clear he didn't want Rex Ryan, but I personally would not mind Rex Ryan because, look, this is the best. Rex Ryan is the best Jets coach in the last 15 years. He took the Jets to 2 AFC championship, and look, the last 6 seasons, he wasn't good. I'll give you that. And maybe it's not the most attractive head coach we should get. We should get more focus on Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel. But if none of these top head coaching candidates want to come here, I would not mind Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan was the most successful Jets coach. We have a bad culture right now. Rex can instill a culture,
Yep.
And this is the worst the Jets have been. A 14-year playoff drought. I mean, Rex Ryan is the most successful coach we had in the last 15 years. After the Jets fired Rex, the Jets only won 56 games, and Rex Ryan's 6-year tenure with the Jets, he won 48 games. So I think he could be a good fit as long as he figures out the offensive coordinator. His son is actually on the lines. Fun fact. So hopefully he can get Tanner Eggstrand from his son's staff, his offensive coordinator. That could be a good fit.
Well, here's the thing, and you're bringing up some great points, Max. And again, I want to thank you for calling into the show. I like the idea of Rex becoming a New York Jets head coach. He's one of the guys in my top 5 for sure. And it's because, some of the things that you said, the culture needs to change. And he'll be able to come in here and absolutely instill a culture. That bravado, that brashness, that toughness that we see from Rex, we need that. And it's so strange to me with this team. I think that's what has frustrated me the most this year with this football team. It seems like often that they're mentally weak. And it's so weird because we have so many great veteran players, right? Devontae Adams came in a little further into the season, but even Aaron Rodgers, We got, Tyron Smith. We got a host of guys, CJ Mosley, all these guys, Quincy, veteran guys. But often we see that if something happens during the game that kind of puts the Jets in, they get punched. Often they don't punch back. They'll just kind of ball up into a corner. We see that. I mean, you look at the Jets defense, dude, getting ran on the way that we did this season, getting pushed around, thrown around like a sack of potatoes, punked at the line of scrimmage. That was unheard of last season. That was unheard of. You were not going to go up against the Jets defense and just run amok like that. No, you weren't. You were going to get brought down. And when you look, we didn't see that. And even on the other side, we struggled to run the ball this year. Struggled. There's a lot of issues, just a lot of things going on. The penalties, the lack of mental awareness. I think Rex solves that issue. Now, again, he's not the only guy that I'm interested in at all. He's not the only guy that I'm interested in becoming a New York Jets head coach, but he is definitely one of the top guys. But a big hindrance, and you brought that up, is, hey, who's the offensive coordinator? Who's the guy? Right? Because that's been Rex's Achilles heel everywhere he's gone. The defense, he going to take care of that. You don't have to worry about the defense when we talk about Rex Ryan. And you don't even have to switch personnel. I think that Rex could come in here with that 3-4, 4-3 hybrid scheme that he runs with a lot of exotic blitzes and put things together. I'll tell you what, with Will McDonald, and we'll see what happens with Hassan Riddick. By the way, he didn't meet the requirements for us to give the Eagles a second, so they just get a third. With all the pieces that we have here, he could come in here and make this defense ferocious from day one. But the big issue is the offense. Who is he going to get to shore up those issues? And I think that that's a big deal, especially, again, when we're talking about possibly having a young quarterback be the leader of the future if Aaron Rodgers does not come back. And so I'm going to ask you this, man. Are there any other guys from, the requests that we've seen the Jets send out, Arthur Smith, Bobby Slowick, Joe Brady, Matt Nagy, there's a host of other guys. Are there any other guys you would be interested in that maybe have offensive minds that you think would be a great fit for the New York Jets head coaching position?
I feel like, for like the list, I feel like, we don't have Ben Johnson on the list, but he should be on the list. I mean, I just say like Woody, I get Ben Johnson doesn't want to come here because, we have dysfunctional ownership. Woody Johnson's the worst owner in sports. Rex Johnson's such a Nepo baby. He never had to work a day in his life. So, but if we had like competent ownership, we should have gone Ben Johnson. I feel like he's the best offensive mind in the league right now. I mean, he turned the Lions offense around, and the Lions offense is like one most creative in the league. Yeah. Mike Vrabel's also a top head coaching candidate. I feel like I don't want Matt Nagy. He was bad on the Bears. I mean, look, they went to 2 playoff games, but he failed to develop a quarterback. That's why I don't want Matt Nagy. And he's kind of like Adam Gase 2.0. Arthur Smith as well, I feel like could also be an Adam Gase 2.0. I don't want him as well.
Okay. So we'll see what happens going forward. I know a lot of Jets fans love Ben Johnson. I know that, and I like him as well. I think he's phenomenal. But the big question is, does he want to come here, right? Like you talked about, the Johnsons are a huge, and I'm talking huge hindrance to the New York Jets finding a general manager and a coach. I mean, if you look at the reports that were flying out and about and around with the way they treated Joe Douglas, and then you look at some of the things they did with Robert Saleh. I mean, the fact that Woody Johnson, according to reports, told the Jets defensive staff to bench Tony Adams before the game for whatever reason in his brain he wanted to see him benched is insane. You've never coached a high school football team, a Pee-wee League team, let alone an NFL team. And you're just coming out the box just telling them, hey, just bench this guy because I want to have him benched, according to reports. Okay? It's strange. It's really strange. But we'll see. Again, there's a lot of reports as well that the Johnsons, know that them being so involved has been a hindrance. I mean, we saw Woody Johnson turn down, the closing presser for the season. And there were some people that were upset about that. But they've got to step back and find a way. But I think they have to, if the right guy comes about and they feel like they can trust him, maybe the Johnsons will finally take a step back. But until they do that, like you said as well, it's gonna be tough to get somebody in here that's really gonna be able to, be on the right side and turn things around. Now, as we continue to talk about this Jets football team, man, and everything that's going on here, I want to talk to you about Aaron Rodgers, right? We saw him throw 4 touchdowns in the last game of the season, which is a season high for him. What are your thoughts about the way he finished the season, and do you think he's coming back next year?
I mean, I think Aaron Rodgers is good, and he had 4 touchdowns, and a lot of these, and hopefully he comes back next year. A lot of these Jets fans are like, "Oh my God, I don't want Aaron Rodgers back." Like, come on, like this is the best quarterback play we've seen. Our defense is terrible. Our receivers are terrible. I mean, we led the league in drops. I was actually on Colin's show. I was talking about this with another Jets guy, Jets Talk 24/7. He couldn't get Jerry Jeudy because the owner's son, according to Rossini, there was reports about the owner's son, "Oh, I don't want Jerry Jeudy because his Mattering isn't high enough." Like it's like the craziest story I've ever seen. Like his nepo baby son, Rick Johnson, didn't want Jerry Jeudy because his Mattering wasn't high enough. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. We still have Lazard. He led the league in drops, so
yeah.
I would not mind Aaron Rodgers, but I think we need to develop a quarterback. If Drew Aller comes out of this class, there have been reports, in the beginning of the season, Penn State, he might stay in 2025, but if Penn State makes the national championship, hopefully he gets declared to the draft. I feel like Drew Aller can make a lot of sense. He has a strong arm. He's very accurate. He could be on the bench for a year. And look, maybe Aaron Rodgers plays one more year, and then we develop Drew Aller. I mean, he could be good. In the past with the Jets, we had young quarterbacks. We threw him into the Wolves, and it never worked out. I said this with Zach Wilson. I was on a Matt O'Leary calling show like a couple years back, and I was like, we needed to keep Flacco. We need to develop Zach Wilson. We don't need to throw him to the Wolves, so I hope that happens with Drew Aller.
Yeah, I mean, there's some options. I think that if Aaron Rodgers wants to come back next season, right? I think that we should absolutely have him back, and I think it's for 2 reasons. One is I think it would bode well, right, for the core of the team, the guys that we want to keep, to actually have a guy that is able to just function within the offense and be, at worst, an above average game manager, right? Aaron Rodgers isn't 25 anymore, but he's still a damn good quarterback. You can look at the numbers and see that. He almost broke our single season passing yards franchise record. He almost did that. And the Jets didn't have the best season at all, right? So if you get the right guys in here, the right OC, you get the right HC in the building, and they're able to turn things around, especially if you get somebody to turn around this defense, I think that bringing back Aaron Rodgers it'd be huge within the New York Jets franchise. It'd be huge because, again, I think that would keep Devontae Adams here. I think that, and I know about the reports, but I feel like Garrett Wilson will be more likely to come back next year than if you bring in a rookie quarterback and it looks like everything is just going to get ripped down to the studs again. I don't think he'd want to come back for that. So I think that bringing back Aaron Rodgers, going to get a young quarterback, grooming him behind Aaron Rodgers, that's my second point, is that, hey, you give that young quarterback time. You give him a year to sit on the bench where he doesn't have to get thrown into, just straight off the field of rookie year. He doesn't have to get thrust into that number 1 quarterback position. He gets to sit back, learn from the bench, get a feel of the game, and then get in there when he's ready to go, when he's primed and ready and he's been groomed and had a year behind him. I think that would be huge. I'd like to bring Aaron Rodgers back as well. I think that would be a good move if he wants to come back to the New York Jets. What are your thoughts about Devontae Adams, man? There's a lot of talk about him
hopefully
possibly not coming back as well.
He was a very productive. I think Devontae Adams is a very productive wide receiver. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers comes back, we 100% need to bring back Devontae Adams. And look, he wasn't productive in the beginning, but towards the end of the season against the Jaguars, he had a very monster game, 3 touchdowns, and then at the end of the season, Devontae Adams has improved this offense. So if we keep Aaron Rodgers, we have to keep Devontae Adams. They've been more clicking towards the end of the season. That's just my opinion on it.
Mm-hmm. So my final question for you, man, give me 3 things that you can sell a head coach on that would make the New York Jets a more attractive job than any of the open jobs at this point in the NFL. What are 3 things that you could tell a candidate like, hey, we got this, this, and this. This is why we're a better spot for you than anywhere else?
So number 1, I feel like our offense, if we have the right offensive coordinator, it could be a good offense because we have Garrett Wilson, we have Aaron Rodgers, we have Breece Hall, we have Braylon Allen, we have Kenny Yeboah, we have Isaiah Davis, and then number 2, our defense. Look, our defense wasn't good, but given with the right defensive coordinator, if we implement the scheme, for example, we can have a good defense. We can go back to having a good defense. And then number 3, look, I understand hopefully we can get a GM that can pair well with the head coach. The head coach can pick his own staff, because some other teams like the Bears, like the McCaskies, are terrible owners.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Raiders, like, they're uncertain with the owners. So I feel like if the head coach is able to pick his own staff, that could be a good selling point for the Jets. And we have a lot of talent to be in the playoffs. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Listen, Max, I want to thank you for calling in, man. This was a phenomenal call from you, all right? Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
Okay.
Absolutely. Listen, Max calling in and talking that talk. Calling in and talking that talk, man. Again, I apologize, everyone. Blog Talk sucks. Blog Talk sucks, man. It sucks. Jeez Louise. But the number to call in is in the chat. It is pinned 805-885-0467. Okay? You know what I mean? It's rough, okay? Blog Talk never works, and, you just dump on Blog Talk, okay? We're just going to dump on them, point blank, period, all right? But even going back to this football team and talking about some of the things here, the future with Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, man, it's going to be really interesting going forward because, again, especially Davante Adams, he's one of our big weapons on this football team. We just saw he had 6 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. He had a monster game a couple of games ago where he just lit things up. And he's a guy that really is a franchise-altering wide receiver. And when you pair him with a guy like Garrett Wilson within the right offense, man, it's explosive. And he wasn't even here the full season. Can you imagine a full season of Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson under the right OC, utilizing them in different ways? Oh, my goodness. Goodness gracious. And that's why it's so important, man. I'm hoping, again, there's a list of guys that have been talked about. I know Jets fans want Ben Johnson out the wazoo. Everybody I talk to, Ben Johnson. And we'll see what happens. To this point, and again, I'm live, okay? To this point, we haven't seen, the Jets be able to get an interview for Ben Johnson. Again, I know the Lions are doing their thing. He'll probably be on that list, after the Lions finish their run wherever it is. Whether a lot of people saying that it's a Super Bowl time for them, so we'll see. But man, there's some guys on the list. I think that Arthur Smith, who at one time he was a huge possibility to become the New York Jets head coach at one point before we grabbed up Sulla. But Arthur Smith is a guy, man, he can call a game. We saw him in Pittsburgh. He's their OC over there, and they handling business. They run the ball really tough too. And that's another thing as well that I think a lot of people miss when they talk about this New York Jets offense. Often we talk about, right? We talk about the wide receiver. We talk about Aaron Rodgers. But one of the reasons I think the New York Jets struggled so mightily this season was the fact that they could not run the football successfully. It was insane. And if you ask anybody, any Jets fan, anything, hey, what are we going to be able to lean on when things get tough? What is the one thing the New York Jets are going to be able to do when the chips just are falling down and they can't figure out things and everything's going awry? What is this one thing the New York Jets are going to be able to take care of? And the first thing that everybody says is, you know what, when things get rough, the New York Jets are going to be able to run the football. We did not do that well this year at all. At all. Do you know that the New York Jets were 31st in the league running the football? I'm going to say this again. This season, the New York Jets were 31st in the league in rushing. That is atrocious, especially when we're saying constantly that that's going to be our offensive identity, that we're going to run the football tough, and then we're going to ease things up to allow Aaron Rodgers to work off of that. And I think that was one of the biggest issues this year offensively, because then when you can't run the ball because you're 31st in the league, now we're going, hey, Aaron Rodgers, save us. And he's 40. He's 40. He's 40. This is not 24-year-old Aaron Rodgers. This is 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, and you're asking him to go out there and just work miracles, And we saw him get hit a lot as well back there in the pocket. He had some rough games, but he took a lot of shots, especially Tyron Smith. He stunk this year. Whew. There was a lot of problems offensively. But the right guys, bringing in the right people, I'm telling you, will change things. And I'm hoping that the New York Jets going to be able to do that. And I'm hoping that the Johnsons and their reputation, okay? I'm hoping that the Johnson and their reputation don't destroy the New York Jets' chance to really turn the page here and make something happen. Because we got the pieces. We got the pieces, man. This team is far too talented to be 5-12. Far too talented. I'm telling you, it's insane. But if you look at the spots that you need the most to perform, your coaching, you look at Sulla this season, that defense, the lack of adjustments, his game managing at times. Oh, then we move on from him, and you see Jeff Albridge. We've seen him struggle. Okay? And he's also said as well that he expects to interview for the New York Jets head coaching position as well. I believe it's this upcoming week or maybe next week. All right, so we'll see what happens going forward with him too. But yeah, I'm really hoping that the Jets can turn things around and get the right head coach in the building. All right, and again, like I said, I like Rex Ryan. I think that would be a good move. I like Vrabel as well. I like Vrabel, and I know that there was a lot of Jets fans saying that they believe that Vrabel is just using the Jets for leverage. Salutes Dano. I see you in the building. Again, the number to call in is 805-885-0467. It is pinned in the YouTube chat. Blog Talk sucks. Blog Talk sucks. It is down. All right? Don't get me started on Blog Talk. They're trash. Okay? But we've interviewed Vrabel, and he's coming into the building. I don't think he was using the Jets for leverage on anything. He's a coach. It's not the same as a player. This is my personal opinion. I think that he's really legitimately interested in becoming a New York Jets head coach. But we'll see. Again, we know that the Patriots have an opening over there. They fired Gerard Mayo after one season. After one season, Kraft said enough was enough and let him go out of the building. That man had the worst roster in the NFL, and they beat us this year. The worst roster in the league and a rookie QB. Got cooked after one season. All right. But so we'll see. I think that that's definitely a landing spot for Vrabel. I think he could end up going there easily. There's been a lot of theories about that being the place that he wants to land. But there's also a lot of Jets fans don't like Ron Rivera either. I'm not the biggest fan of Rivera, although he's seen some success as well. Had a Super Bowl appearance. Had some years with the Panthers where they made the playoffs, made runs. I think he went 15-1 at one point with them as well. But he's not a guy I'm really interested. But there's other guys I'm telling you on this list. Arthur Smith being one of them. But I love Aaron Glenn. I like Vance Joseph as well. And Brian Flores is another name that I really, really like. Really like that. So I really like some of the guys we brought in or are going to bring in, and some of the guys that we brought in as well. And I'm really looking to see who shakes out from the Jets GM search as well. Everybody knows I love the assistant general manager with the Detroit Lions. I like that guy a lot. I like what he's done with that football team and how they've been able to turn things around. And he's the guy that I would like to see. Again, there's a lot of time. But I definitely think that we've got to get the right guy into the building, man. We've got to get the right guy in the building that's going to be able to get talent in here and figure things out. And I think it's also very interesting how the New York Jets are handling their search as well, because I would think that you would allow the general manager to make his head coaching hire, right? And we don't have anybody in that spot right now. So I'm wondering if the New York Jets hire their general manager first and then turn around and say, hey, here's a list of guys. What do you think, right? Are they going to do that? Or are they going to hire the general manager and go, hey, you can select who you want? Or are they going to go, hey, GM, you're who I want, and hey, head coach, you're who I want. You guys need to figure out how to work together. That's going to be interesting as well. How are the New York Jets going to handle the hiring situation? Are they already going to have a list set out? Are they going to allow the guy to, make his pick? Or are they going to make the pick for him, pick him, and pick the head coach? That's been something as well that has bit the Jets in the behind in the past. I remember we missed out on Carolina's head coach because we were trying to tell him who his staff was going to be. And he said, you guys are out of your minds. I'm out of here. And he scrammed. Okay. So a lot of things going on with the New York Jets, but they finished the season with a W. There's a lot of questions about some players as well, DJ Reed being one of them. I really like DJ Reed. I really hope that he stays with the Jets. But there's a lot of questions. Even C.J. Mosley, man. We'll see what happens with Mosley going forward as well. A lot of questions outside of just Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, man. But I tell you what, again, Will McDonald, I thought, had a really good season. And we'll continue to talk about this team and how they've performed. And we're going to break a lot of things down this upcoming offseason. So please stay involved with your boys. So we're going to close out the show now. I want to thank everybody for listening. Again, I apologize, everybody. Blog Talk sucks. It sucks, man. I apologize, okay? They fell short tonight as usual. Blog Talk is trash. All right? So I want to thank everybody for listening and, checking in with your boy. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. I truly do. I also want to let you guys know, hey, your boy is on Twitter. Go on over to Twitter, okay? Type in @The Long Beach Joe, @The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. All right, go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I will have the jersey on at all times. At all times. I'm the troll under the bridge, baby. Okay? All right? Listen, Vera Tucker, you already know what time it is. Okay? He played pretty well. I think he had a high ankle sprain this year that he talked about recently that really hurt him. Okay? But he played through the pain. He basically couldn't practice with it. So when you look at what he was able to do this season with that injury, I'm hoping that the Jets give him a deal. He should be here for years to come, man. That guy played pretty solidly this year. So come on by, all right? And be the troll that lives under the bridge with me, all right? Me and Vera Tucker, we're going to be down there trolling, all right? I'm also on YouTube as well. Going over to YouTube, type in Long Beach Joe Jets, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you will be in the know. Also, okay, give the videos and streams a thumbs up. Share them across your social media with your friends and your family. All right. And getting those comments as well. We'll go back and forth. You want to troll me? I'll troll you right back. And as always, people, when you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. They will cost you absolutely nothing. All right. I want to thank you folks for taking the time out of your day to kick it with your boy, to interact with me, to talk with me about the New York Jets. I love this. This is what I love to do. All right. Without you folks, I'm absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the time out of your day doing that. Till the next show, you folks have a good one. Peace. All right, folks. Again, I apologize. Blog Talk is poop. Okay? Man, oh, man. I'm sorry. Okay? But we're going to continue these shows. Exclamation point. Around the chat because we got to get rolling. Listen, that link has my link tree. Okay, my link tree has the links to all of my social media. It also has links to all of my YouTube pages. Please get involved with everything that I am doing. Okay, for those of you that are new, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We do these shows year round. I'm gonna continue on. Again, we coming out of the holidays, so schedule was kind of wild, but I generally do one show a week. Okay, sometimes more, but generally one show a week. So please get involved with everything that I'm doing. I'll let you guys know when the next show is going to be. It's probably going to be next week. We'll be talking about that. But my shows start at 7 p.m. Eastern, okay? As y'all saw tonight, Blog Talk sucks, okay? Look, I'm not even going to say it, but we'll figure some things out, okay? Because this has got me, your boy's steaming. I ain't going to lie, okay? I'm heated, all right? But we're going to figure some things out. But this is usually the number to the show, okay, when it works, when it decides to work. You call in and we have that discussion. Now, keep in mind, when you call into my show, don't call into my show cursing, okay? That's like the only rule. That's the only rule on my show. Don't call into my show cursing, all right? When you call in, please call in from a good phone. Call in. Ready to go have the discussion and make sure that your connection is good. Also, people call in from like headsets sometimes, it makes it echo. I need to be able to hear you clearly. If I can't hear you clearly, my audience can't hear you clearly. What can I do? There's nothing I can do. Okay? I need to be able to hear you clearly. Okay? So please call in with a good connection. All right? Don't call on speakerphone. You're halfway across the room. No, I need to be able to talk to you. So please call in from a good line of a phone. Okay? Don't call me from a phone you found in a Home Depot dumpster. Okay? Don't do that. All right? Call me from a solid line with a solid connection where I will be able to hear you. All right? So yeah, a lot of things moving and shaking. Oh, also background noise. Get rid of that, man. Come on, man. There's a lot of people that call me. They be at work, right? They be construction workers calling me on the jackhammer. Listen, put the jackhammer down, okay? Go down the street, okay? And talk to your boy Joe then when you get down the street and it's good, clean, and clear, okay? Because if I cannot hear you because of crazy background noise, I'm going to move on from you, okay? Because I need to be able to hear you. My audience needs to be able to hear you. I want to hear your takes. That's why I do this show, because I love connecting with Jets fans. I love connecting with football fans, all right? Keep in mind, if you call in, you don't have to be a Jets fan to call into this show. You really don't, okay? We have people that call in all the time that are not Jets fans. I've had Patriots fans, Bears fans, Falcon fans, Raiders fans, all kinds of fans, okay? Chargers fans, Buccaneers fans, all kinds of fans that have called into this show that have talked Jets or talked about football with me, period. All right. So there's a lot of things, just moving and shaking here, but hey, make sure everything's clean and clear when you call in, and please make sure you got a good phone line and cut the background noise. Also, when you call in, this is number, okay? Usually it's the number. That may change. I'm just going to say that. That may change. All right? But the number that's down here usually is the number to call in unless I pin the number in the chat like I did today. All right? So what a lot of people do, and I'm not going to tell you who does it, but it's Rusty and Val. I'm not telling you who does this, all right? But it's Rusty and Val, okay? What a lot of people do is they know when I'm going to go live, because if I post it all over my social media when I'm going live. So what they'll do is they will call in before the show starts. As y'all heard today, called in, boom, I give my spiel immediately. It's like 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes sometimes, just to set the lines for the show, what we're going to discuss, some of the parameters, and then I just go to the lines and talk to the people, right? Well, what a lot of people do is they call in, they wait that 5 minutes, and then boom, they're immediately on the line because they want to be first. I'm not telling you who's doing it. It's Rusty and Val, okay? I'm not telling you who's doing it, okay? But just because you call in after that, whenever, trust me, I'm going to get to you. My hold times are not long, okay? My hold times are not long when Blog Talk is working. Even when they're not working, it's not that long, okay? Couple minutes, boom, I'm getting to everybody moving and shaking. So just be patient. Trust, we get to everybody, okay? So, yeah, we have a lot of fun. I also come to the Savages in the chat as well. So if you guys have thoughts or any questions or anything, put it in the chat. I'll come to you and talk about your question. But, again, I'm one man, okay? So I'm moving and shaking between two things. As y'all can see, here we go, right? Outlaw says, skip this part, defamation of character. I have witnesses. Wow. And even Bree comes in. Salutes to you. Good to see you in the building. He says, defamation of character. I'm calling it before Joe even names names. Wow. It's crazy, right? Bree is on their side as well. That's crazy. All right. He's been corrupted. Okay. But Blog Talk didn't work, so I guess you folks are off the hook. We knew who they were, and we let them off the hook. So, yeah. Yeah, so when Blog Talk works, we do our thing. I may be doing some playoff stuff as well. I know that y'all really enjoy watching games with me, so we might be doing that, okay? I'll let y'all know for sure what's up with that. So I know there's a lot of people be like, yo, Joe, what's going on, man? Look, holidays, a lot of things moving and shaking, but here I am, okay? And we talking that talk. Outlaw says, Joe, who are your top head coaches? Joe, who are your top head coaches that you want in order? It is really tough for me to order them. But I would say my top 5 is Vrabel, Aaron Glenn. My top 5 is Vrabel, Aaron Glenn. Ben Johnson is in that mix, but I just don't think that Ben Johnson is realistic. That's why. But Ben Johnson, we'll just put Ben Johnson there, but I don't think he's coming here. So let's put Ben Johnson aside because I like him a lot, but I just don't think he's coming here. So I'm gonna say Vrabel, who I think he's gonna end up going to the Patriots. But excuse me, I'm gonna say Vrabel, Aaron Glenn, Vance Joseph, Brian Flores, and Rex Ryan. That's my top 5. That's my top 5 right now. That's my top 5. I also love Cliff Kingsbury a lot. I like him a lot as well. And I like Ben Johnson, but I just don't think that Ben Johnson's coming here. I just don't. I really, really don't. Honestly, I think Ben Johnson could end up taking that job with the Jags because he would have a QB off the bat. And Trevor Lawrence with Ben Johnson? Oh, baby. Man, oh, baby. Let me tell you something. Oh, man, oh, man. Outlaw says, yeah, last year you did Cowboys and 49ers, I believe. Oh, yeah. People, listen, I'm going to be, I'm thinking I'm going to do that Sunday. I think let me look and make sure. But yeah, I'm going to stream some of the games for y'all because stream some of the games with y'all. I don't want to, don't come after me, YouTube. Don't come after me now. But yeah, so we're going to be moving and shaking. And doing some things. Yeah. We'll see. Ooh, you know what? It might be Steelers-Ravens. I might watch the Steelers and Ravens game with y'all. What do y'all think? What are y'all thinking? Steelers-Ravens? Steelers-Ravens or Chargers-Texans? What are y'all thoughts on that? That's a good game. I'm thinking I might do Steelers Ravens with y'all, but we'll see. I might think Steelers and Ravens, so we'll see. I'll let y'all know for sure. Yeah, it's so many things moving and shaking. There's been a lot of coaches let go as well, and a lot of coaches let go. Man, I was stunned that. Well, Gerard Mayo, I was stunned that he got 1 year, but. The Patriots, when Mike Vrabel right around the corner, once I saw Gerard Mayo got fired, I immediately was like, yeah, Vrabel going to get that job. If he really wants that job, he going to get that job. I mean, former Patriot, like good coach. That's just he's going to get that job. But I was kind of shocked that I was a little shocked that Doug Peterson got fired. I thought that he would get at least was a little shocked that Antonio Pierce got fired. But, there's been a lot of things moving and shaking. Outlaw says, it seems like Jamal Adams want a hug too, Joe. He regrets requesting a trade. He wants to come back. Jamal Adams is a fraud. I'm going to keep telling y'all that. I told y'all that years ago. I told y'all that man is a fraud. He will say anything at this point because it didn't work out. Do y'all remember when he first went to the Seahawks? He was talking crazy to Jets fans. And it wasn't even like they were talking crazy to him. A lot of those Jets fans were like, bro, we love you. Like, come on, man, don't leave. Don't request a trade. And he was telling them like, bro, get up out my face, basically. Get up out my face. That's literally who he was telling them. Let it go. I'm out of here. Love. Like, that's literally what he told them. And Jets fans, as y'all know, and I know as well, even as a content creator, Jets fans are really they're really rough on people. Like, they're really rough, especially on players. Because I watched it. I see it. And I don't even like social media. Y'all know I don't like social media at all. Really. Right? Only reason I just talk to Jets fans on social media. That's it. I really don't like social media like that. But some of the things I saw them tweet at players. We've seen them attack players. We've seen Jets fans in the fan base attack players. Not just like, oh, I'm just going to put your name. Like, just, no, they'll put your at. They're not going to just put your name. They're going to put your at and make sure that you've seen it. They will not only attack you, they'll attack your family. They will attack your family, bruh. Y'all know this. Mekhi Becton's mother, they used to attack her all the time. They used to attack all the time. It was crazy. There have been other players' families have been attacked too. So I'm sitting there watching these Jets fans like drool all over Jamal Adams as he's dumping on the team. This man was driving out. He was driving away. And a random Cowboys fan asked him, hey, do you want to be a Cowboy? And he's like, bro, I'm trying. Like, he telling people out in the street, yeah, I'm trying to get it. And he was on the Jets at that time. Like, come on, man. Jamal Adams says whatever, bro. The only reason why he's saying that is because it didn't work out in Seattle. What's crazy is he got, bro, Jamal left a rebuild to go over there and never really do anything over there either. So it's crazy. Crazy. When I tell you that Jamal Adams is one of the most beloved Jets, bruh, I don't think, and there, listen, there's been and Revis was loved, but Revis was like, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. Like, and again, I'm not disrespecting Jamal Adams, right? I know it takes a lot to cleat up and go out there and play. It takes a lot to do that. And a lot of fans don't want to admit that. Bro, it takes a lot. That's why a lot of people be talking about football, because they can't play it on that level. I know that it's hard to play on that level. I played sports growing up. I know how hard it is to play on that level. Okay? Your boy played a little I'm not even going to. Your boy played with a lot of high-level athletes, okay? I know that it's I know what it's like to play against those guys, and I also know that it's really tough to play on that level. I know that. So I respect him for just being in the NFL. But him as a person, like the stuff that he did was atrocious. If he wanted to walk away, he just should have said, hey, I want to be up out of here. That's just, but the way he did it and how he ripped the hearts out of this Jets fan base, that to me is unforgivable. Real talk. Because he was loved like to the moon and back. Prez, when let me tell you something. I knew, and I started talking about it early. I'll never forget it. I made the decision. I said, you know what? I'm about to give y'all a take. I remember saying this right up here. I'm about to give y'all a take right now because I knew a while before. People called me crazy, called me an idiot, said I wasn't a Jets fan. All kind of crazy things. People I didn't even know. I didn't even know listen to me. Baby, not only was I right, I told y'all pretty much exactly how you was going to do it because I knew. I saw the writing on the wall. I seen it. So, Jamal Adams, I wish him nothing but the best. I don't have any hate towards him whatsoever at all. But when I tell you a guy that I think really, bro, even if he never won here, do you know how big Jamal Adams could have been if he would have just stayed with the New York Jets and just played? Bro, he would have been huge. The deals, endorsement. He literally owned New York and didn't win anything here. He was so bro, I can't in recent memory, outside of like Revis and like old Jets back in the day, Curtis Martin, outside of that, far removed from that, Jamal Adams is the most beloved Jet since those times. I'm telling you, you better not say nothing about Prez. He the next Troy Polamalu. He's Ed Reed. This is literally what people were telling me. He is Troy Polamalu. He is Ed Reed. And I just sat back like this. That's all I did. That's all I did. That's all I did. Salutes to Iconoware. I think that's how you say your name. If it's not, let me know. Iconoware says that defense was nasty coming into a new GM. Yeah. I'm telling you, like, man, let me tell you something. And then how quickly people, this is another thing, and I'm just leave it alone. Let me tell you how nuclear that take was. I remember the day that I started saying it, and I told people I'm going to say this, me, before everybody else starts. I was talking about that like a year before it happened because I said I know exactly what he's going to do. And then I told people, I followed it up with another nuclear take, okay? And y'all can, my takes be out there, okay? I'll put my takes out there, and I'll be right a lot. I said, Marcus May is a better safety than him. People went nuts. People thought I was saying that because I was like, oh, he's just trying to drum up. No, I'm telling y'all, Marcus May is a better safety than him. What Jamal Adams was doing in that defense, and Icano, what he was talking about. Let me know, Icano, if that's the right, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I don't want to mispronounce your name. What Jamal Adams was doing within that defense, he was allowed to roam and play undersized outside linebacker. He wasn't playing safety. He was playing undersized outside linebacker. That's why he was able to rush freely at times. That's why he was able to abandon the defensive scheme and just do whatever he wanted to do at times. And it looked like it was, but it wasn't. He was just doing whatever he wanted to do. That's the truth. He was what he was doing was playing undersized outside linebacker. And Marcus May was the one actually playing like safety, traditional cover safety. Because if you go back and look at the years, right, when the defense was flowing and moving, Marcus May was considered one of the top cover safeties in all of the league. You can go back and look it up. I don't like PFF, but people were quoting like PFF. He was ranked high. If you go back and ask analysts, he was ranked high as a cover safety. So, yeah. And when Jamal got to Seattle and they made him play actual safety where he had to cover people, I think he had a what was that? It was a game they played the Patriots. And he got cooked by, I want to say it was Julian Edelman. That was like 33. He gave up like 100 and something yards. The story was out. There's even, I'll tell you what, there's film. There's film of, they played the Eagles. And Brandon Graham saw Jamal Adams walking out. And Brandon Graham looked at him and pointed. He said, boy, I seen your film, boy. He said, boy. He said, boy, I seen your film, boy. We know you. Boy, we know. It's because they knew. Jamal Adams struggled in coverage. He would bite on a double move in a heartbeat. He always struggled in coverage. But it was covered up because of other things that he did so well. But when he was asked to play safety, that's why they call him Blitz Boy. That's why he was yelling at their defensive coordinator, right, at the coaches, screaming, allow me to blitz, because he struggled to impact the game in other ways. He's a safety. He's not an outside linebacker. And that's when he went over there and started trying to do outside linebacker things. Them tackles and guards was getting their hands on him. And chill little. If you don't get your small behind up out of here, them dudes, they don't play like that. But, but again, Jamal Adams, I respect him. But what he did and how he treated this fan base, a fan base that does not has a hard time, dealing with their own players. That's crazy. Because I watched this fan base attack Geno Smith, who did nothing. I watched them attack Sam Darnold, and he did nothing. Sam Darnold was still talking about how much he loved the Jets. And Jets fans were still attacking him. He never talked negatively about the team, and he had every right to. If Sam Darnold had stood up and said, yeah, I can't stand that team. They're trash, and they treated me like trash, and they never gave me anything to be successful. That's why I never had a real number one. I never had an O-line. My coaches were trash, too. Everything was trash when I was there, and that's why I'm going to be successful somewhere else. Nobody would have been able to say, you know what, Sam, you're wrong. He never did it. He took responsibility for, the failures that he had here, and look where he is now. Sam Darnold is balling over there with the Vikings. That boy balling. And we're going to see what happens going forward because he could end up being their franchise guy. And that's why there's a lot of talk about the Jets possibly looking at J.J. McCarthy. So we'll see. Excuse me. Bree says, I'm on the side of truth and justice the American way. Get up out of here, Bree. Truth and justice, please. I'm going to get to y'all, and we're going to get up out of here quickly. Let me see. Oh, my bad. I know I'm behind in the chat quite a bit. Dano says, Dano said you could stream a Dolphins playoff game. Oh, wait. No playoffs for them, dog. Outlaw says definitely Ravens, Steelers, Ravens. Yeah, I might. That might be the way to go. That might be the way to go. I'll let y'all know for sure, though. I'll let y'all know for sure. Bree says, I know nothing about the AFC South, to be honest, but the AFC North is a different story. Please do that game. Okay. Yeah. We're going to Dano says, Joe, why do I feel like you're 6'8"? I am tall. I will say that. I am tall. I'm a tall guy. Outlaw says, Zach Wilson, as much as I did not like him, they were doing a lot. They was DMing his mom. That's great. I forgot that. Yeah. They were Jets fans DMing his mom. No lie. DMing his mom. I'm talking about doing things. Talking about doing things, okay? Talking about doing some things. That's crazy. Can you imagine some random guy, Jets fan, 3045, DMing your mama saying, hey, let me get in them draws? Like, what? That's how disrespectful Jets fans are. Real talk. And we'll talk about this more because this is crazy. Like, Jets fans are crazy, bro. They're crazy. The way they talk to players is bad, but talking to somebody family that ain't even got nothing to do with it. I remember Mekhi Becton's mom was celebrating. That's his rookie year. The Jets were bad. And I'm going to keep going down the chat so y'all can keep giving y'all thoughts. I'm gonna talk to y'all for a little bit. Mekhi Becton, the Jets finally got a win his rookie year, the first win. And everybody, his mom was celebrating and they were happy. Even at the time, I think it was Braden Mann, too, was celebrating because they just got their first win. They're rookies. Do you know there were Jets fans telling them that they were out of line for celebrating their win? There were Jets fans attacking his mother for celebrating that her son that she raised and watched go through from peewee football to high school football to college to now in the NFL. She raised that young man, and now he's exactly where all his hopes and dreams, are. And he finally got his first taste of victory in the season. And there were Jets fans telling her to sit down and be quiet. And that she was crazy for celebrating that win because of the tank. The tank. Like, crazy. I'm talking about going after her. Bro, I was heated. That made me mad. That's the Jets fans usually. I don't even care. Like, I don't pay attention. But when they went after Miss Becton, because she literally was never talking about nothing. Never. She would just keep to herself. And they went after her. Bruh, that made me mad because that lady didn't do nothing. All she was doing was just celebrating her victory. And I think I talked about it on the show, how scummy it made Jets fans look. They went after him. They went after players on the team. That was ridiculous. Dano says, I thank Jamal immensely for his trade compensation, but he is DOA to me. He can tell his regrets to his therapist. Yeah. Bree says, Joe, last time I was in MetLife, Jamal took the football out of Danny Dimes' hands and ran away for a TD. The funniest thing I've ever seen. I love the guy. Yeah. I remember that game. The Giants stunk. Those sacks that Jamal had were all on trash football teams that year too. We got blown out so much, and he was on the field and didn't do anything. Oh, that was another thing that made me mad that Jets fans did. I remember when Jamal got traded and it was final, we got the compensation. I liked Marcus May a lot. I was happy because I knew that you guys were finally going to understand how great of a safety Marcus May was, and he was good that year. I remember he immediately put out a tweet. I see a lot of fake love coming my way. I think that's what he said. It was something like, I'm receiving a lot of fake love. And it was nothing but Jets fans going, oh, we knew you were better than Jamal Adams and blah, blah, blah. Please stop it. Those were the same people I remember when Ashton Davis got drafted. They were saying, oh, yeah, now we can get rid of Marcus May and Ashton Davis and Jamal Adams so we can pay Jamal Adams and pay him a boatload of money. There were people that wanted to pay Jamal Adams over $20 million per season to stay a Jet. That was more than Revis ever got paid in any season that he was here. Ever. Crazy. And that was before inflation was crazy. I don't even want to talk about that. Inflation is wild, y'all. All right? Just we'll talk about that later. But $20 million a season to a box safety? Get up out of here. Get up out of here. Get up out of here. Dano says, Joe, are you giving AVT an extension so his cap comes way down, or are you forcing him to play his fifth year? I would like to see the New York Jets give him an extension, especially now, right? Because I think that AVT is going to come back if they make him play on that fifth year option, and if he does, he's going to come back next year and have a really good year, and then the number is going to go way up on a guy that we know can play every position. Every single position. Except for center. We haven't seen him that. But, baby, that's the last thing you want to do, especially when your offensive line has been a revolving door and there's been a lot of issues. I would like to see them keep AVT. I would like to see them keep him on a deal that works for the team. Don't dramatically overpay him. But I think right now you can get him for a solid deal and not break the bank crazy. But if you wait and he has an unbelievable fifth year, baby, then you're going to get into the franchise tag mess and all. Don't do that. Just give him something solid and keep it rolling. Connell says they were two different types of safeties. Yeah, for sure. They definitely were. Salutes to everybody. Courtney and Jay, salutes and respect to you. Good to see you in the building. Again, I'm catching up on the chat, y'all. I started talking, and, Joe started talking, especially about that situation, and there's others too, right? Man, oh, man. A lot of things going, a lot of things moving and shaking. Courtney said he's a hybrid. Yeah, I'm sure he's a hybrid. He one of the hybrids that's always breaking down. Dano said wanted to be LaRon Landry. Bro, I remember LaRon Landry. That dude was crazy. He used to fly around and he was wild, bro. Man. Yeah, Outlaw says, but I do miss Marcus May. It was just his injury history. Yeah, that was the thing with Marcus. At first, like he had a tough was it the first year or the second year he got hurt? He was nicked up like here and there, but he got that injury tag on him, injury bug on him, and a lot of Jets fans didn't want to have nothing to do with him. Man, oh man. Courtney NJ says, Joe, where's your pink tee? I love it. Thank you. You know, listen, again, let me. I want to thank everybody that supported all of the charity work that I did, or that was done on the channel. Okay, because y'all were a part of it too. Okay, all the charity work we did. Okay, from the Breast Cancer Awareness Month that y'all always support. Thank y'all for that. That's where the pink tee comes in. Thank y'all for. Thank you, Courtney, for acknowledging the pink tee. Okay, everybody always says, Joe, you look good in the pink tee. Where is it at? Hey, listen, October comes around and your boy, you know, I do what I got to do, and show love to those dealing with breast cancer and the Susan G. Komen Foundation, and also everyone that gave to the food bank and everyone that gave to Mark Veely and the toy drive as well. I want to thank every last one of y'all that did that. And again, that's something I continue to do every single year on the show. Okay. So thank y'all for everything. Okay. Courtney says, Joe, what's your Zelle? I don't have Zelle, but I do have Cash App. Okay. I'll be working on Zelle and I'll put that in there. I didn't know people like use Zelle like that, but I do have my Cash App at the bottom of the chat. It's right there. And also the super chat is there as well. Okay. So I want to thank y'all for anything that you give. Okay. Anything you give to me, anything that you give to the platform is greatly appreciated. Okay. I want to thank y'all for that. Truly, truly want to thank y'all for that. All right. Yeah, it's, you know, again, I want to thank y'all for that charity stuff, because that's something I, you know, love to do. Love to do. Okay. Dano says LBJ is a left tackle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm a tall guy. I get it moving. I'm athletic. Don't let the show confuse you. All right. Your boy can move. All right. Iconal says NY is a wild place. It is. It is. That New York and Jersey, it is a wild place. Everybody, for those of y'all that don't know, I be going to games. I haven't gone in a little bit because, you know, there's some things going on in the world. Okay. But, you know, I go to games. I used to go to games once a year, pretty much every year, sometimes more than once. Like, I'll be at the tailgates, L7, all of that. They know me. I'll be out there, and I don't be hiding. I take the train and everything. I was on the what is that? Whatever the what is it? The Newark Transit, I think it's called, or something like that. Whatever the trains is that goes out. Those trains are trash too. Those trains are garbage. We'll talk about all of this. My experiences in Jersey. I definitely want to save that for the playoff game we're gonna watch together, because Jersey is wild and New York is even more wild. Y'all just mad all the time, right? I'm a guy in California. It's so beautiful out here, right? Palm trees, beautiful women. The weather is great. I'm enjoying myself. My life is wonderful. What are y'all so mad about out there? Why are y'all so angry? What is it? What? Like, why are y'all so angry all the time? And it doesn't even matter. It's not like y'all mad at other people, right? Just like, oh, you're from California, get out of New York. No, y'all mad at each other for no reason. The way y'all drive, crazy. So crazy. Y'all drive like y'all just don't give a damn about anyone or anything or anyone. You don't care if you tear up somebody's car. You don't care if you tear up your own car. You don't care. Just as long as you get one spot ahead of someone else, 1 centimeter. That's all it takes. 1 centimeter could get your car toe up. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. Okay. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Whew. It is wild. New York and Jersey is wild. Outlaw says, remember when they went out to Joe Douglas' face and surrounding him and said, you drafted Ryan Leaf? I remember something like that. Was that the time that I think that was that in I remember hearing about something like that. I can't remember where that was. I want to say it was at a camp or something like. I remember hearing something about the fan base like saying crazy things to him. Man. And they do it. I'm telling you, this Jets fan base, they do it. They don't care. They'll do it to your face, on Twitter, everywhere. They don't care. Lil Balloon says inflation is beating my, yeah. I'm telling you, inflation is serious, man. Inflation is serious. We all in it together. Okay? We all in it together. Oh, my goodness. Dano says, word on the street, AVT was really banged up this year and played through it. Guess he could barely walk until Friday. Yeah, he had a high ankle sprain, a bad one, and he wasn't even able to walk. Wasn't even able to walk, really. So, Charles DeComo says, love the show, Joe. I want Rodgers back. Listen, I'm right there with you. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it, especially if we get the right coach. And even what Rex Ryan said about Rodgers, I don't think that means if he's the guy that Rodgers won't come back then. But I do think that Rodgers needs to be challenged at times like that. He needs to have and we saw it this year because again, even though it's Aaron Rodgers, to have Aaron Rodgers say that Devontae Adams, who had only been there for a year, was the guy that stood up in the locker room and made a speech to the team that was the realest thing he ever heard to get them to try to turn things around, was like, bruh, what were you doing this whole time? You've been here for weeks. Why weren't you the guy to step up and do that? You know what I'm saying? Why weren't you the guy to step up and make that speech? It should have been you. That was I remember thinking that, okay, well, why is everybody talking about Devontae Adams, who just got here, standing up as a leader in the locker room and saying, listen, we got to turn this around, and yelling and, checking guys when you're Aaron Rodgers? You know what I'm saying? But, again, I'm not dumping on Aaron Rodgers, but I'm saying, this team needs some confidence instilled in it. And this team needs that fire punched into them. They need to understand how to knuckle up and guard and then come back. You know what I'm saying? Keep your chin down and your guard up. Come through with that peekaboo. Throw that hook. Change your leverage. Are you flat-footed? Get up on your toes. He trying to punch you. Okay, block that, parry. I'm right back at you. You know what I'm saying? They need that. They need that dog put in them. They're good individual players. Garrett Wilson is a good individual player. He's a great wide receiver in this league. We talked about it. Quarterback play stinks. Still over 1,000 yards. Even when his quarterback sucks, still over 1,000 yards. Devontae Adams, phenomenal. All these, Breece Hall, phenomenal. The defense, full of phenomenal guys. But when you make them play as a team, I don't know. Something just isn't there. You got to get the right guy that's going to be able to meld this together and make them a good team, not just great individuals. And even the players talked about that. Sauce talked about it openly. He literally said, I don't think we play as a team. I don't think we a team. We just a bunch of individuals. He said that recently in an interview, in a post-game interview. At his locker, he said that. He's on the team. He said it himself, that he was confused on how they could be so talented and upgraded at every level, but can't win games. And he said, I'm looking at the results, and we can't be playing as a team. We're just a bunch of individuals. That's what he said. That's Sauce. He's on the team. He's one of the better corners in the league. He's on the team. He know. So, let me see. Courtney NJ says, DeComo, whether people like it or not, the fact of the matter is he's our best QB currently on the roster, and word from JT, I don't know who that is. JT's camp, he's gonna retire. We'll see. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers retires. I think if we get the right coach in here, that could coach him back. If he retires, that's gonna hurt too, because that means you're either gonna have to go out and get a solid veteran to come in here, because this team still has the pieces to compete. It does. It still has the pieces to compete right now. But you know, if you don't have Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be a rough go. It's going to be a rough go, because that means you're going to have to pull in somebody young, or you're going to have to look at that that veteran wire and see who's out there. And I can't see a guy. I know a lot of people talking about Sam Darnold. I don't think the Vikings are going to let him go. Nope. And don't get me started on, oh, well, J.J. McCarthy's behind him. Ryan Tannehill went to the Titans. And they seen what he was able to do. And he was thought of as a far-gone bust. He's never going to turn into anything. He went there, and y'all saw what he did, and they signed him and made him the franchise guy. And they thought and there were young guys that, oh, he's going to be the heir apparent. And he was the guy there. So we'll see. Outlaw says there's bumper cars out here. That's a fact. He says, and I know it's mind blowing that people don't even look left and right. They just cross the street. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy out there. I'm telling y'all. Look, I got love for, my folks in Harlem and Brooklyn. All right, salutes and respect to y'all. Everybody in New York, salutes and respect. All my guys in Jersey. Okay, all my guys in Jersey. I got guys in Newark. Okay, salutes and respect. All right, I have nothing but respect for y'all. But the stuff that I see y'all do on the road and how y'all act, how quick, bro. I'm gonna save this. I've seen people literally walk into each other, walking down the street, simply because they did not want to move. They almost tore each other's shoulder off. And I remember I was walking behind them, and I seen them walk smack dab into each other and just keep going like nothing had happened. And I stopped and went like this. And I said, what planet am I on? This place, it has its own. This is not California. That's just mad rude for no reason. People in Jersey, New York, I don't know what it is. When they get out and about, often I see them, they are mad rude for no reason. I don't know why. On the road, crazy. Cursing, roll down the window, go off. What is going on? Why are y'all so mad every time? I just ask myself, why are they so mad? I don't get it. Courtney and Jay says, was it Quincy or Quinn arguing with a fan on IG? I've seen so many Jets players go off on fans. Man. Jordan Travis is contemplating retiring. Oh, that's y'all. Okay. Well, there's a lot of people, hoping to see that they're saying he was the next guy. We'll see what happens with him. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, listen, I got to get up out of here. I respect y'all. We're going to be back. We're going to watch a playoff game together. I'm thinking it's going to be that Steelers-Ravens game. We're going to sit down, stream, laugh, and have a good time. And again, we're going to keep these radio shows going throughout the off season. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. Your boy's moving and grooving. And I really appreciate y'all, man. That's why I do what I do. I have a lot of fun. We also stream on this channel video games. Excuse me. We also stream video games on this channel from time to time. All right, we'll get back to that eventually. My schedule's wild, okay? There's a lot of people got upset when your boy stopped streaming video games, okay? My schedule's crazy. Okay, we gonna get back to it though, okay? Just let me, we gonna get back to that, all right? But I play a lot of games over here. Street Fighter 6 sucks. I'm sorry. So if you see me playing Street Fighter, more than likely it's gonna be like Street Fighter 5 or 4 or Third Strike or something. Street Fighter 6 is so trash to me. And I know that there may be some Street Fighter 6 fans in here. I'm not trying to offend y'all, but I'm speaking my truth, okay? I'm speaking my truth. That game is trash, okay? Drive Impact, you just sliding across the screen. Come on, man. There's no footsies, no neutral. You just do whatever. Everybody, you start the round with EX. The stuff that I see in that game is just insane, bro. Sucks. And the characters suck too. There's no characters that I like at all. Hugo's in the background, but he's not in the game. That doesn't make any sense. Where's all the third strike characters? Why isn't Makoto in the game yet? What are you waiting on? What are the developers of Street Fighter 6 waiting on? There's so little content. Where's all the and I'm not a costume guy, but I know a lot of folks that love buying costumes for their characters. Where are the costumes? Where are the characters? Why are you putting characters in the game that nobody asked for? You know, where are the characters? Where are the characters that everyone wants? Where's Birdie? Where's Sodom? Where's T-Hawk? And I know they got Lily, but come on, where's T-Hawk? They should have just put T-Hawk in the game. What is going on with the developers of Street Fighter 6? Where's Sagat? Where's he at? Why did it take so long for you to put Bison into the game? What are you waiting on? Anyway, don't let me go off of my Street Fighter rant. I don't want to go there. But, yeah, so, I also play GTA. We'll probably get to that, but I got to figure out what GTA, because GTA, YouTube is sensitive, okay? YouTube is sensitive. And I love YouTube, but YouTube's very sensitive, okay? So, but yeah, we play video games over here, all kinds of games, scary games, all kinds of stuff. So we have a lot of fun doing that. So, please, if you see me streaming games, come on in and check in with your boy. Have a lot of fun, man. So yeah, we do that and we have a blast. So get involved with everything that I'm doing. Subscribe. I also got a reaction channel. More videos is coming up, so please get involved with that. Yeah. And, get involved with everything I'm doing over here. I love doing this. Have a lot of fun. So until the next one, listen, folks, be safe. Okay. Be safe. Okay. There's a lot of crazy things going on in this world. I want everybody to stay safe out here. All right. The world is getting wild. Don't ask me why, but it's happening. All right. Sit down with your friends and your family, eat some good food, watch some good meals, and, let the people that you love know that you love them. That's important to me in my life. I hope it's important to you and yours. Okay. Because this world is getting crazy, man. It is absolutely getting crazy. So I'm going to get on up out of here. Outlaw says, I just hope Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah, the next Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. I know. I think it's going to get pushed back. It's there's a lot of things they got to work on. We've already seen things get out there, okay, that y'all know. Y'all can, on YouTube, it's a lot of things out there, okay? But they got to clean some things up in that game. And we know, I don't have an issue with Grand Theft Auto getting pushed back because we know they're going to milk it. That game is going to, the next one they put out is going to be out for 45 years. Look how long they've been milking GTA 5. I think GTA 5 is, bro, they've been running that game for years. It's crazy. So this one, they're building and doing their own thing. But when that come out, we definitely going to run that too. Okay? We're going to have a lot of fun. All right? A lot of fun. Have a blast. So, yeah, we're gonna be back at it. Ravens, Steelers, I think that's the game we're gonna do. Yeah, so join your boy, man. Come on in and say what's up. And come have fun. So until the next show,